Hey guys, Lizardlea here for Larksfoot Crochet Afghan Day 4. I'm exhausted. I'm just exhausted. And I have had a twitch right here for a week now. I don't know if you can see it. It looks like you can, but I don't have my glasses on. No, if I do that, I can't see. So, if you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, it's still happening. So, that's not why I'm exhausted, though. That's just something that's been bugging me now. I really want to finish this blanket. I don't remember what I was gonna say, so I'm just gonna go try and crochet now. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell, I have had a twitch here for a week now. It's happening. I can feel that it's happening, but I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah. It's fast. It's annoying. It's driving me insane. I have had it for a week. And I googled it, and everything said that the lower lid, the lower eyelid twitching usually was not an indication of something major or, bad happening. And you have to wait 2 to 3 weeks to see a doctor. It's probably caused by stress, which is why I want to crochet. But my eye's twitching. It's gonna make it annoying. This is the second time I filmed this because I thought I would get like this. I was like, I don't want to. I want to just be peppy, and I'm so angry right now. I'm going to attempt to crochet after I've calmed down. And then I'll film this again. Hey guys, Larksfoot Crochet Day 4 here. This is the third time I've filmed this opening. Hey guys, Lizardlea here for Larksfoot Crochet Afghan Day 4. It is 9:10 a.m. and I just woke up. So if that gives you any indication of what's been going on over here, I normally wake up at 6 a.m. So, and on the off chance that it ever shows, I have a twitch right here that has been happening for over a week now. So I can feel it happening. So I'm assuming you can see it. So that's what I'm personally dealing with my body right now. My body is just falling apart lately. And I just want to work on this. I just want to crochet this. That's all that I want right now. Like, this is it folded in half. Like, I'm pretty sure David actually helped me hold it open last time. And I feel like this is maybe halfway. So I still have a lot to do. Wish me good luck. I'm gonna need it.
All right, just to reiterate, that was really bad week for me. I'm good now, no worries, don't worry about it. Just wanted to leave in, my 3 takes so you could see my attempts and my absolute failure when I called myself the title of the video instead of my name. So
things like that.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today, handsome man?
The Gentleman.
By Guy Ritchie?
By Guy Ritchie.
By Guy Ritchie. Just watched it earlier today. So it was different timelines type thing where, like, you know, you jump around.
A non-linear story.
Yes, non-linear, and we typing is confusing me. What was I trying to say?
We watched it.
Yes, but it was weird. It was non-linear. Oh, and it was kind of a story within a story.
Yeah.
It was weird. I had a very difficult time following it, so I constantly had to pause and have David explain it to me because he's already seen it.
If you've seen any Guy Ritchie film, you know exactly what she's talking about. I guess the only exception maybe being The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which is a little more normal for Guy Ritchie, and what was it? The new Sherlock Holmes movies were also him. Did you watch those?
Yeah. I saw the first one, the one with Robert Downey Jr., right?
Yeah.
I saw the first one. I think I saw the second one.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
Also Guy Ritchie. So he's got a style. I think everyone knows that. So, yeah. As with all Guy Ritchie films, or a majority, a bunch of British character gangsters with a variety of, loyalties and honor codes have come together to clash over, in this case, the weed business, because Matthew McConaughey is this...
Mickey?
Yes, Mickey.
Mickey.
Very... he started out as an American who moved over to Oxford, but then rather than finish school or anything, he started selling weed and realized he was really good at it, but he kind of murdered his way up the chain, and now he's at the top of the weed game because no one knows how he grows his weed and distributes it because he grows so much. That said, he's slowly been gentrifying himself because he doesn't want to be a guy who's going around murdering every single person he meets to get things done. And so he's looking to get out, so he's going to sell his weed business to the guy from Succession.
Matthew.
Matthew, yes.
Yes.
Which makes it extra confusing.
Yeah. That was very confusing for me because I kept calling Matthew McConaughey's character Matthew McConaughey.
Yes. So,
but I know his name is Mickey, so...
There's this big deal, and it's supposed to go down, but the movie actually starts with Hugh Grant, who is a freelance reporter who has been hired by a tabloid that Mickey, Matthew McConaughey, snubbed earlier at a fancy party. He's been hired to basically do a piece on him, because, hit piece, sort of. And he's come to the consigliere... what's his name again?
Raymond.
Yeah, I know. Raymond.
He was my favorite character.
To tell him, hey, I know about this big deal. I know things you should know. And if I leak this stuff to my boss, he'll pay me $150,000. And it'll ruin your deal and probably your life. But if you give me $20 million, I'll go away. And so it's everything. It's the tabloid reporter first rambling about basically what he thinks happened, which he is mostly correct, and then the rest of the story as it proceeds from there, told in various ways as we follow a cast of eclectic gangsters throughout London, as many Guy Ritchie films do.
Yeah, and it jumps between Matthew McConaughey and Raymond, and the reporter guy. So, there were times when it just jumped too far and I was like, wait, what? What's happening? What? But it was good. I do think, at least for me, it would be better on rewatch because I'd understand everything. Like, the terminology, the lingo, sometimes just went completely over my head. Where I'd just be like, is that another term for marijuana? And David would be like, yes. I'm like, okay. Like, super weird. But it was good. Raymond was my favorite character. And the coach was my second favorite character.
Played by Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, yes. He was great.
So yeah, it's a pretty traditional Guy Ritchie affair in that it's very stylized, a lot of metaphor gangster slang. Or even, upper British metaphor / fancy gangster talking. And it, I don't know. I think it's one of his more approachable things. Like, if you want to see if people like Guy Ritchie films, this is probably a good starting point. His other stuff, like Snatch, Lock, Stock, are famous, but they're kind of hard to get into. Obviously, like, some people really liked the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes. I think that did pretty well. And then Rock and Roller. Didn't Guy Ritchie also do like a King Arthur's thing that like bombed? He also did The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which is the other approachable one in my opinion. Excuse me while I look up what movies this man has made. Because I'm probably maybe going to go on a spree and just finish off anything I haven't already seen since I like his stuff. He's got a Hercules film in production.
Ooh, Hercules.
He's doing something else. Wrath of Man just came out. He did Aladdin.
He did Aladdin? The live action Aladdin?
I don't...
Like with
my
Will
God,
Smith
he was involved,
Genie?
yes. Oh my God, yes, that's his fault. Well, never mind, shut it down, we're done here.
I didn't see it, I don't want to see it, so...
He was not the producer on that one, which I think speaks volumes. But anyways,
Probably would have been better if it were the producer.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or, it would have been better if it just hadn't been done.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, not sorry.
So I haven't seen Revolver and I haven't seen Swept Away. So those are the films.
Nor have I.
Nor have I seen Wrath of Man.
Nor have I.
But it's a heist action thriller, so I feel like we need to watch this now.
Okay.
So that can go on the list while we talk about the list. But yeah, so what were your thoughts before I spoil the hell out of it? I guess you want to just spoil from here on out because it's kind of hard to talk about otherwise.
Yeah, it kind of is. I really like Raymond. Really loyal guy who's very competent. Like, that's great! Love it. And then the coach was just amazing from moment A to moment Z. He was
For those of you who've watched a Guy Ritchie film, but not this one, he is the... I'm trying to think of a more friendly term, but he is the most competent among competent people, but he has lower aims, and, he's not in the gangster game. He's called the coach because he trains people to be boxers and whatnot, but he's a major person not to mess with, and, but he's gone off and doing other things, and he's just very pragmatic and practical.
I mean, one of his lines that I really liked was he was like, I'm not a gangster. I know I do gangster things, but I'm not a gangster.
Yeah,
I don't want to be a gangster.
And at that point, that's because he has been forced into doing gangster things because he's trying to protect his idiot students who he's trying to make them not be gangsters because they grew up being gangsters, but he's trying to train them out of the gangster life with incredibly minimal success, I must say.
Yeah. What were they?
The toddlers.
The toddlers. Oh, I hated all of that.
I thought it was
cool. The fighting was cool, but the rapping they did over it, I was just like,
didn't hate it.
It's so dumb. Like, you're calling yourselves the toddlers. Like, yes, you are children. I don't know. Didn't work for me, but that's okay. Not everything has to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, all of my favorite lines, the coach had. And some of them weren't even lines, they were just actions.
Mm-hmm. It's like any other Guy Ritchie film, it's got a lot of good stylized stuff, it's got a lot of clever writing, it's got a lot of clever wordplay, people are going back and forth all the time, it's a neat little heisty thing, the characters are all unique and full of life, they're not just this is love interest A, granted, they are all cliches of a sort, but they're very stylized cliches is what I would say. Not a strong female film now that I think about it. The woman's pretty much there to be,
I mean, she got 2 freaking amazing headshots in.
Yeah.
But then...
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't watch things just because I want female empowerment.
Oh, no, I'm just saying.
I absolutely hated in the Avengers movie when they had all the female superheroes get together for one big woman move. No, it was BS, and I hated it. I still hate it. Don't pander to me.
Yeah, no.
Women can be awesome without having to gang up with a bunch of other women. I hated it.
Right. So point was more just that it does seem like she's mostly in the movie to serve as the weak point for McConaughey, which makes it a kind of romancy thing because, it's more cliche, but since he tries to rescue her and all that, and blah, 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 blah. She's obviously not a damsel, though. Like,
oh, yeah, no, she gets 2 headshots off. Like, it was good.
But,
And, like, prior to that, she was the boss of that car shop. Like, she told her husband to get out and everything. Like...
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a Guy Ritchie film. Like, it's very easy to just say that over and over and over again here. What else is interesting? I don't know, like, as always, all the acting's really fun in his stuff. Like, he has a really good sense of, like, pacing for moments. Like, when he has to go pick up the daughter who's heroin addicted, and how that all goes wrong and leads to the chase scene where they're running after the kids with the phones and...
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was very fun.
Yeah, exactly. And just, like...
So I was like, oh, yes, that's the first phone. What about the second phone? And then they showed them getting the second phone. I was like, okay, but what about the third phone? And then you get to see how they got the third phone. Oh, my God, the library's like, you need to bring around a parachute.
Yeah. You need to start investing in parachutes. We're developing a pattern. Yeah.
I loved it. I laughed so hard.
It's just a very good movie. I could try to explain the plot, but in traditional Guy Ritchie heist movie fashion, there's a lot going on. Lots of double crosses, triple crosses, people who think things that are mostly right but aren't completely right, so someone else knows more than them, but they don't know the whole story either, and back and forth and back and forth. It's still much more streamlined than, like, again, Lock, Stock, for example. But, yeah, it's fun. It's just fun. Like, I like fun movies, and it's a dumb fun movie. Like, I feel like there's some themes going through the film that I'm not sure if they're, like, intentional with, like, water and fish and crabs and blah, 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 and... A lot of water themes going on, but
so.
Yeah, I'm curious if any of that was intentional and I'm just, like, missing stuff, which I'm sure I am, but, you know, what else is new? Turns out it's hard to get every single one of these.
Yes, it is.
I do think that they,
They,
I'm trying to think of how to word it. I wish... Like, Dry Eye is, like, this interesting character. He's kind of the antagonist. Or one of the antagonists. And he's just winds up being kind of...
Yeah.
All that, too. He could have been a lot more interesting, I feel like. He has a lot of potential, but in the end he only serves one real purpose, with maybe 1 or 2 interesting scenes. But... everything else is, I think, fun.
I especially like the scene where Mickey is leading Matthew through a freezer. And he pushes the thing aside, and that's when you see Dry Eyes' dead body. And Matthew pretends that he's like, yeah, I don't deal with him.
Yeah.
And Mickey's like, oh, you don't? And he shows in the video that Raymond and the reporter had a very funny scene where they were, like, doing the voiceover for them, and it was hilarious because things got mistranslated because they were speaking, was it Mandarin?
Cantonese.
Cantonese, that's what it was. And obviously the white guy wasn't very good at it.
Yeah.
But,
My mouse hair is ruffled. I think he's saying he's upset.
something about an octopus at one point. Like, it was weird. It was weird. I loved it. But no, then they walk out of the freezer. He shows in that video. And he's like, so... and this is full spoilers for the end of the movie. If you want to see the movie, you should, just watch it, because it's good. But, he's just like, yeah, you screwed me over, and you made it very clear mathematically that it's for... like 240 million or whatever.
270 million.
There we go, 270 million. So you owe me that. You're going to go into this freezer and you have 1 hour in order to give me that money. Or you're going to die in there.
Well, no, it's not. You have 1 hour because then I'll leave you locked in there. It's because in about an hour that you're going to die from the cold.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
He even said, you might want to start with it because you're going to lose fingers and feeling in your hands from frostbite if you don't. And then he points to, was it Bunny? Was that the black guy's
Yeah.
name? So Bunny, fully decked out like he's ready to go for a winter trip. He's like, Bunny's going to go in there with you, and you're also going to have to give me a pound of flesh. I don't care where it is. I don't care what it's from. I don't care if you take it from yourself or if Bunny takes it from you. But you're not going out of there until I have my money and my pound of flesh.
Yeah. And do you know what that's from, a pound of flesh?
I feel like I've heard it before, as a saying.
It's a saying, yes, but it's from The Merchant of Venice by Shakespeare, which is one of the better Shakespeare things. I have not actually watched it or studied it in forever, and I've never seen the good film. I've seen plays and whatnot, but there's apparently a really, really, really good delivery by Say Hello to My Little Friend Scarface.
Al Pacino?
Is that Al Pacino? I believe it's Al Pacino. Anyways, point is because he plays the Shylark. The Shylark is a Jew in Venice, and he wants basically someone to pay him back with a pound of flesh, basically saying, you're going to have to kill yourself to do this, because, getting a pound of flesh off a human body without killing them is incredibly difficult, especially back in Merchant of Venice times. Today, yeah.
Yeah, you can have your leg chopped off, and you can get medical attention.
Yeah.
Your leg is going to be a lot more than 1 pound, though.
Yeah.
But, point remains.
Not sure where you want to start that at, but, yeah, it's, again, that's a little call out, and I think it's just because it's just the way the character would think is the idea or something, but,
I made no connection to it with Shakespeare.
No, I don't
just
think
know,
it,
that's a saying, pound of flesh.
I don't.
And he took it literally. I liked it.
It was intended exactly as a call out or anything, but again, there's a couple of things where I'm is there a plan and a theme here, or am I missing something? What's going on here? So, I don't know. That's my thoughts.
Nor do I. Only thing that annoyed me was there was no resolution on that. I don't know if he did give the money and he did chop off a hand or something, or if, he died, but obviously Mickey still got the money, or what, I don't know. I wish there had been resolution on that. Revolution, oh gosh. But, yeah.
I'm kind of curious, because it seems that most people do not enjoy a lot of Guy Ritchie films.
Aw.
Well, to be fair, it's the ones I haven't seen. They were not received well, which is maybe why I hadn't heard of them. But I hadn't heard of this either. This one was solidly received, which I think is fair. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was, I'm just looking at review aggregator nonsense, less liked than this, but I thought it was fun. And then Snatch, which I've seen, was about as well liked. And Lock, Stock was about as well liked. Okay, and so this new one is... Okay, yeah, alright, we can try. I don't know. I'll try them anyways. I don't usually care what the review sites say, because I don't always line up with them, but when they're good, they're good.
I usually don't agree with the critics. I don't care about what the critics like or don't like, or what they expect or what they want. I don't care.
It depends a lot on the critic and what they're saying. A lot of critics, I feel, are... any review site, someone comes to you and says, hi, here's a bag of money, say this thing is good. That happens, Be it cars, games, movies, shows, whatever. And so, there's a lot of chaff out there. It's just people... And then likewise, there's people who are just saying they hate something because...
It gets more clicks.
It gets more clicks. And then there's people who genuinely hate something, but I don't vibe with what they do and don't like. There's a lot of people who like, and I think fairly, what's that show called? Steven Universe, I believe? The anime?
Oh, yeah, I know
with the
what you're talking
gems. And I've sat down and I've tried watching it, and boy, I could not begin to care. I
don't like the art style.
I don't mind the art style at all. I don't know. I could go on a tirade about it. I don't think it's bad for what it's worth, but I don't enjoy it. And so if someone's like, oh yeah, I really love that, and recommends something, I'd probably be like, maybe not my thing. Likewise, I'm sure the same sort of person who loves this, not every single person who likes that show would like the stuff I would recommend. So, it just depends on your tastes. And that's why I find reviews to be questionably useful. Obviously, if it's someone trying to stand in Roger Ebert's shoes or whatnot, Siskel and Ebert's shoes, they're gonna try and appraise it from an artistic storytelling point, and that's fine. and I'll probably want to see some of those films. But at the same time, like something like this is not high art. It's cool. It's someone having fun in different ways with the medium, and that's why I really like Guy Ritchie, because he does all sorts of fun stuff. In fact, someone described it well as I was reading through all this, where all these stories are some guy in the pub telling the story to you, where that's why the characters are outlandish, because, you're hearing it from some dude who heard it from some dude.
Of course, he embellishes it.
Yeah, and so the whole story is like, oh, it's not just this guy, it's the lion, and blah, 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 blah. And so, but yeah, it depends on who's talking, basically. And unfortunately, I have a hard time finding people... Well, the people that I found are reliable are also the people who are usually doing, like, hour-long to 4-hour-long, like, video essays, deep diving into something like Treasure Planet, because it's their passion. And that kind of content is incredibly difficult to make and not exactly coming out every time there's a new movie, so I can be like, oh, did they like it? And I don't really know who among the quicker critics I totally agree with. I enjoyed Film Critic Hulk's takes on some things, but I don't think I agree with a lot of their actual likes and dislikes, so I don't know. I'm rambling about critics now.
That's okay.
Okay.
We have, like...
a number of seconds.
Several minutes. No, several minutes. Yeah, we're at 26, and it looks like my outro's at 34 minutes? So we have almost 10 minutes.
A peek behind the curtain of the incredible production values of the Lizardlea cross-stitch channel.
Thank you. As I'm crocheting on screen.
Well, okay, so since we're on Guy Ritchie, let's see. Okay, so I haven't shown you, I believe, any of his other movies other than The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which you also
that's the only one I know of that I've seen.
All of his stuff is hard to watch. I believe it's Snatch or Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels that has... Yeah, it's Brad Pitt as a... Oh, God, I want to say Irish boxer who, like, legitimately... I don't even know if you're supposed to understand what he says with subtitles.
Oh, God.
Like, that's part of the joke, is that, like, some people get him and some people don't. It's not just about him. He's not the main character. He's a side character. So, like, let's see. Snatch has Jason Statham, Brad Pitt, just going off names I think you recognize.
Snatch I feel like I've heard of.
Benicio del Toro. I don't know. These other names are names. I mean, there's the thing if you've seen it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've heard of it. I don't know if I've seen it, though.
And then Lock, Stock is his other famous film, or was the famous film for a while. They're like cult classics. They're very, like, obviously stylized and different. You're not seeing a lot of other directors do the same thing. And who was in Lock, Stock? Jason Statham, yeah. And it's Jason Statham getting slightly more serious roles than just I'm the bald guy who does the martial arts. But yeah, I know I'd like recognize these other names if I like saw pictures with them. Like, oh yeah, that's so and so, but not at the moment. But yeah, the guy does good heist movies and stuff. I'm trying to think. What's the other one? Let me see. Like, does it remind you of any other movies you've seen? I'm just kind of curious.
The Gentleman?
Yeah. Like the style of it. Like.
I know Memento popped up in my head, mostly because, like, things were kind of out of order, and it was kind of hard to follow. I don't know, who did Memento?
Nolan.
Aw, I like Nolan. That's disappointing, because I didn't care for Memento.
We have both agreed that you literally missed some incredibly important parts of that movie, and we need to rewatch it. But yeah.
Guy Pearce. That's probably why, because you kept saying Guy Ritchie, and I was like, wasn't Guy Ritchie the one who starred in Memento? No, his name is Guy Pearce.
For those of you wondering, Guy Ritchie did not direct Memento. Congratulations.
Well,
We're glad you watched this channel.
No, I didn't think he directed it. I thought he starred in it. I thought he was the main actor.
Yeah, well.
I thought he was Guy Pearce, but his name is Guy Pearce, not Guy Ritchie.
Did people actually like the Sherlock Holmes movies? Oh my god, they did.
I liked the first one. I don't know if I saw the sequel, though.
I remember it feeling incredibly which I believe is the general vibe.
I think it was comedic, so...
Yeah, and Dad hated it. Oh my god, he hated it. But that's expected. He's a big Sherlock Holmes fan, and it's a very different take. And he watched it under really bad conditions, kind of like how you watch Star Wars. Where it was not ideal conditions to watch a film, so how much of this is you hate the film and how much of this is you literally didn't get it because you spent the entire time annoyed by something else or in a bad mood because of something else.
Yeah, that's how I was with Thor 2. I was so sick, or at least I was having an allergic reaction the entire movie, so I was constantly getting up and blowing my nose and coming back and going and blowing my nose, and I just, even without it, I don't really want to rewatch that movie. I might like it, but I don't think so.
I mean, probably not, but you might like it more.
But Memento, I should give a second chance to, because, yeah, I completely misinterpreted the movie.
I think you also... I've kind of not forced on you, but I've at least exposed you to weirder movies and more ambitious things, so I'm
more open to not happy endings.
Yeah, that's for frickin' sure.
Yeah.
You didn't really have a choice on that, no.
Well, with so many of my favorite characters dying left and right.
That sounds like a you problem.
Screw you. We made a friend, and he also, all of his favorite characters always die. So... my movie soulmate is out there. I have met him, and we're both always in tears.
The trick is to not immediately love the character who is set up to make you feel bad when they die.
Well, that's a problem.
I noticed. But yeah, pretty much other than that, I don't know, there's probably not too much else to say. They're good films, he's a good director. He does the same... His main films are kind of the same heisty, chaotic blueprint, just refined in different ways. But they're all still fun to watch because it's oh, this is entertaining and neat and different. His older stuff is definitely... I remember rewatching one of them and being I'm kind of bored. Even though I know it's a good movie. And I can't remember if it was Snatch or Lock, Stock, but I feel the two movies are so easy to intermingle. But it's also that kind of storytelling that feels interesting because the world feels interesting because it's not all about the protagonist. The whole world has all these really eclectic and weird and strange and crazy characters, and you want to know more about them or that kind of world even where those kinds of characters exist. And it reminds me of certain animes like Baccano. Because, yeah, actually that's why I wanted to show you The Gentleman, because Baccano is kind of a Guy Ritchie, the animated...
train one, right?
Yeah. A whole bunch of really weird, eclectic super characters, and some are, amazing people who are, literally near inhuman in their abilities, and The Gentleman is, the least over-the-top Guy Ritchie film, I think, in some ways. And he doesn't go quite as far, but yeah, I feel if you take, the anime bent, Baccano is definitely... in that way, as is the other thing that guy did, Durara, which
I have not seen.
I'd rather watch Gundam Wing with you.
I guess we're gonna watch that at some point, you guys.
I'm actually thinking we should either watch this other Guy Ritchie film right now, or the horribly violent film Dragged Across the Concrete that I keep putting off, because that's also a heist movie that I've been wanting to watch, so...
Well, you got me on that second one. I love the horribly violent films. You look at me and you wouldn't think that, but I absolutely love
I hate when all my favorite characters die. What's your favorite kind of movie? I don't know, just something that makes everyone in the room horrified.
Not that far, but Clue is my favorite movie. And my favorite character survives that movie. So...
depending on the ending.
No, he always survimes.
It's
Every
on
single
HBO
one
Max,
of them.
we can watch it. Hooray.
Alright, so look forward to the next video where we're going to talk about a horrible movie.
This is the same person who did Bone Tomahawk.
Oh, yeah, that one was violent.
Yeah, we may not talk about it. I don't know. I don't even know if we'll be able to talk about it.
We could even just say, I liked it, or I didn't like it. And then we can move on and talk about Kim Possible.
Yeah. We're watching that too, to balance out the horror on this channel.
And that is the end of Larksfoot Crochet Afghan Day 4. I got 4 hours and 23 minutes of footage. need to figure out a better way to do this. I'm going to pick it up. Hold on. Okay. Now where's the other end? Is it this? No, it's not. It's this. Oh, it's officially too long for this screen, unless I back up a lot. So it's this long. There we go.
It's very pretty.
Thank you.
Nice blue and black.
It is. I like it. I hope my dad likes it. My eye's still twitching. You know, I always say eye, it's my eyelid. Or it's not even my eyelid, it's the muscle underneath my eyelid. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to talk about. Do you have anything you want to say?
We need more brains.
No. He hasn't been around. I'm happy. I know I don't look like I am, but I am.
She's ecstatic.
Hate him. Glad he's gone. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next video.